Welcome back to my channel. I have been gone for quite some time, I'll admit. There is no real excuse. I've just got a lot going on with my family, and also my neurodivergent brain just tends to have lots of ideas but not actually see those ideas put into action as such. My cat's at the door. Come in. Right, okay, so I've let the cat in, as you can see. Thank you very much, Salem. So I am really trying to hold myself accountable now. I'm trying to create more videos. I'm trying to just be more organised. I was recently diagnosed with ADHD and I already have a diagnosis of autism, so yeah. Really, Salem? Like, my brain just works a little differently, and yeah, I see all these other creators who are neurodivergent just getting things done, and I'm like, how do you do it? But yeah, I'm really trying now. I'd like to make something out of this. I'd like to build a community and yeah, all of the above. So I'm going to be talking about the books that I read during October. I will say that majority of books that I read and or finished in October were on Kindle. I mainly read at night because I just find it easier. The 3 kids are in bed, I'm upstairs, I'm lying down, I'm relaxing, and it just puts me in a better mindset. Plus, with having ADHD and autism, I find that my brain just does not switch off properly. So when I go to bed, I tend to stay up because my brain just doesn't stop working. And so reading helps me relax, I suppose. It helps stop the rumination. So yeah, I mostly read before bed, and therefore most of the books that I've read are on Kindle. I do, however, tend to read them on Kindle and then buy the paperbacks. So yeah, I know I'm not the only one guilty of doing that. So the first book that I read in October was Wildfire by Hannah Grace. These books have been so unbelievably popular and probably viral at some point, maybe even still are. I know that they are a very big series in the world of romance, and they are written by an amazing author. So I thought I'd give it a go. I'm not really one to jump on bandwagons. I'm not really one to just read a book because it's popular, but I read the blurb and read about this book. I've seen a lot of people who have enjoyed it, and it is the kind of book that I generally like to read, and it has relatable characters with relatable storylines, and yeah, this, I don't know why, it just really got me going, like the vibes of it. Like, despite it being at like a summer camp, I read it in October and I really enjoyed it. It gave me like some really nice vibes. Yeah, I did feel like the storyline went on a little bit too long, but I think that I have been reading shorter books recently, and I know Hannah Grace's books are quite long in my opinion. So yeah, perhaps that's just why, but I still really liked this. I like the characters. I really like the main male character. I think he's really cool. He's really nice. You don't see many people like him. But yeah, really enjoyed this, and that kicked off the month quite well. I did read a few books at the same time because I just am terrible for that. I can't just read one book at the same time, at once. I have to read multiple. I think it's the getting bored quickly and moving on to different things. But yeah, really enjoyed this. Quick bit that I want to add actually before I continue. I actually have decided that I no longer really rate books, give them a star rating, because I don't like to compare books to each other. I know people might think that that's bizarre, and it's fine, whatever you think. Your opinions are valid, you know, you're entitled to your own opinion. But for me, I have had where people have star rated my book that I've written, and then compared it to a book that has been written by a famous author who has got a team backing them up. Lots of money has gone into it, lots of money's gone into the editing process, and I just realised sort of as I've gone along reading indie authors and then authors who are extremely successful, teams of people, we can't be rating books and comparing them to each other, in my opinion, because the amount of work that's gone into each of them, you know, you've got teams of people working on a massive book, and then you've got one person literally fulfilling every single role and self-publishing. It's not going to be the same quality as a book that's been published by a massive publishing house. And so I choose just not to star rate anymore. I tend to star rate on Goodreads, basically just on my Kindle, but that's mainly just so that the author can get some rating up, and most of those tend to be 5-star ratings anyway. I'm all for helping authors, but yeah, so that is why I'm not star rating, in case you wanted to know. The second book that I read was on my Kindle, and it was by an indie author called Elle Macdonald, and it is called My Kind of Trouble. Again, the same as Wildfire by Hannah Grace, this was also kind of more set during like summer, and it had like summer vibes, so I honestly don't know why I just picked them up during October. I think I am a mood reader. I'll pick a book up when I fancy reading it, and I really wanted to support Elle. She brought it out during August, and I was so annoyed with myself for not getting into it immediately, but I thought now's the time, I'm going to read it, I'm going to support her. She did originally send me an ARC, but I wasn't in the mood for reading it at that point, and I've also never read a book on BookFunnel, and it kind of confused me, the whole process. So I actually got it on my Kindle, and I would like to buy a paperback copy soon as well. But I read this on Kindle Unlimited in the hopes of Elle making some money from my page reads for her, and also get her page reads up as well, because as an indie author myself, I know that that can help bit by bit. Amazon is not the greatest when it comes to indie authors, so yeah, even Kindle Unlimited, like reading it on those, you are helping out the author just a little bit, and it's kind of costing you nothing. So yeah, it's always good to try and help where you can. But yeah, that book was really good as well. I'm really proud of Elle. I followed most of her writing journey, and yeah, it makes me really happy to see that she successfully published her book, and she should be really proud of herself. So moving on to the actual like spooky stuff, I saw that there was an Amazon original series that came out, book series, and it is a series of 6 novellas by different authors. They did this during Christmas, and I think it was last year or the year before, and I read all of them within like a week because I just loved them so much. And again, they've got sort of, I don't know if they've got the same authors or whether it's just 1 or 2 of the same authors that they had during that, but I managed to read all of these books and they were all just amazing. Some of them were missing a bit of depth, but I think that was just because of how small these books were. Like some of them were like 80 something pages, which is unbelievably short, but I think they all managed to do an amazing job. So first one I read was Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood, amazing book. The second one that I read was My Boyfriends Are All Monsters. I loved this. I just thought it was so quirky and so funny and cute, and I'm really happy for the main character. She really deserved what she got. I love it. The third one was Space Vampire, and this is by Ruby Dixon, and this again was super cute, super fun, yeah, just lovely. Then we had Spicy Little Curses by J.T. Geissinger, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, I apologise. This was really cute. And then the other one was Falling by Christina Lauren, which is written by 2 authors, which is awesome. And yeah, this was really cute as well actually. I really like the premise of it, and it's yeah, it's just a little unique one. And then the last one that I read in this series was Beautiful Nightmare, by Katee Robert. This was a really good one to end on. I actually was a bit nervous about reading this because it's about a sleep paralysis demon, and I have sleep paralysis, and I was like, oh, is it going to trigger it? But it absolutely did not trigger it. It was so easy to read, and it was just really sweet, to be honest. It was a nice little thing to read during sort of Halloween season and autumn, and it kind of set the mood without being too creepy, too spooky. So I really like that. I like the mixture of romance and spooky. I think that all of the authors who wrote for that series did an incredible job. So yeah, absolutely love that series. I would recommend reading that any time of the year, but if you do want to get into those spooky vibes, then it is the perfect thing to read during Halloween, during autumn. So I then also read Daydream. So this took me quite a while to read. I think I might have picked this up sort of halfway through the month. This is also by Hannah Grace, and it followed on from Wildfire, which I read at the start of October as well. I really love this book. It was complex and in depth, and I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely felt like crying at times, because what the two main characters go through, like in their lives and their background, it's just so relatable. And I think that Hannah Grace has done such an incredible job at handling it, and also writing in a way that people feel so seen and heard and validated by. The main male character I really related to, like, as someone with autism, you know, there's no labels in this book for him, but he's definitely undiagnosed neurodivergent, and it's just so perfectly written, in my opinion. And some of the dialogue that he had and some of his thoughts was just heartbreaking, to be honest. Like, I had to take a few breaks from this book because it was just so sensitive. Like, I was so sensitive by reading it, and I think that just goes to show how amazing Hannah Grace is. And yeah, I really appreciate her for how well she's written this book. It was so lovely. It was such a lovely way to end the series. So yeah, this was fab. And the last book that I read during October, I think I actually finished reading it at the start of November, but I read most of it in October, so we're just going to class it as that, was City of Ghosts. I had literally never heard of this book before. I'd never seen it online. I had never seen it advertised anywhere. It was through luck that I went to the library and I just saw it on the shelves and it piqued my interest. It was in the, I think it was like the teenage section or like young adult. So this book, City of Ghosts, is by Victoria Schwab, and it is the first in the series, and it's set in Edinburgh, which is one of my favourite places. And yeah, it pulled me in, like, immediately. I had had this book for ages before I actually started reading it. I felt a bit sorry for the library because I just kept renewing it because I wanted to read it, but I had to be in the mood. So I thought, I'm going to read it during October, and it really set the scene. It was genuinely so good. The premise is really good, the storyline's amazing, and it was written so well. Yeah, I really enjoyed it to the point where I want my own paperback copy of it, and I'd really like the other two in the series because I feel like I'd really like those as well. I know they're set in different cities. I think the second one is set in Paris Catacombs, and the third one is set in, I could be making this up, but I think it's New Orleans. But yeah, I really want to read those. It was really good, and I've got this new respect and this new sort of wanting to read other books by Victoria Schwab as well now. So those were the books that I read during October. Before I wrap up this video, I wanted to show you that the two books by Hannah Grace that I read, I got these special editions from Tesco, and I just think they're really cute. I think a lot of places are now sort of getting onto the sprayed edge kind of, what do you call it? The trend of sprayed edges, and I won't lie, I genuinely do love a sprayed edge. I've got a lot of them, and I've got a lot of special edition books with beautiful features on them as well. But it is about what's inside, so that's what matters. But yeah, so these are the books that I read in October. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I genuinely cannot wait to just film more videos and get them out there and and we can all talk about books together. So let me know in the comments what you read during October, what you like about this video, what books you may have read that I've also read in October, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.